What's up? What's up?
What's up, James? How are you?
Good, good. Glad you're here today. Obviously, for everybody, we're having another episode of James Massey Live, where we interview real estate agents that's killing it in their industry, in order to provide tremendous value for the agent that's looking to grow and actually build their business. And today, I'm here with Rina Rossi, one of our Canadian partners, and
Yeah.
she's going to share a little bit about some of the things that she's been able to do within our real estate business. Our topic today is being consistent in business going in towards the new year. However, some of the things that we're going to go into, we're going to go right dive into exactly what it's going to take for an agent to actually take their business to the next level. So I'm super excited. Rena, can you kind of tell us a little bit about yourself first before we kind of get into the nuts and bolts of things?
Okay, so originally the career that I used to have, I was a professional recording artist, singer, and songwriter, and traveled the world. Got involved in different businesses, started to invest in businesses and franchises, and then I really had this desire to get into real estate, simply because my father was a real estate investor, and I thank him and so grateful to him for teaching me and my sister and I the value of work ethic and how to become successful and how to be a business person. So my father had a huge impact on where I am today and those values that he instilled in me.
And that is awesome. I mean, like especially in today's time where people don't really work like they used to work. So I mean,
I've
having
been working since I was 11 years old, man.
wow.
It's
how
not too long ago, though.
not too long. No, no, of course not. Of course not. You're only
Right.
21.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you're right.
So tell me, like, what are some of the things? I mean, do you think that helped and aided, like, when you made that transition into getting your real estate license, as far as that work ethic?
How did it help me? Well, when I was younger, my father, one of the things, my dad owned a dry cleaning business, and um, the interaction between the customer, right, the professionalism and the patience, and not rushing the client, that was a training ground for me, right, and how to be able to handle the customer and dealing with the transaction. So having that training for many years at that little dry cleaners really instilled a lot of value and ethic on you work, you don't just quit. Like, I mean, I literally stood for 8 hours a day. Back was killing me. So I think it was just toughening up my mind, and also not giving up so easily. So it was a great training ground and experience, because my dad didn't stop, right? If you learned one thing, okay, well, you're not done. We're going to teach you this. Now you're going to learn how to make the deposit at 12 years old. Now you're going to learn how to stamp the checks. Now you're going to go to the bank with me. And when you're 16, you're going to drive the van. Whoa. So he just kind of threw it at us, threw it at me. And even though there was fear, my dad helped me break that fear one step at a time, which was such a valuable, what's the word? Can you come up with the word? Such a valuable lesson, which I still use today.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, like, really, you was pretty much in training right off the rip as far as like how to be your own business person. A lot of people, I mean, they don't get to see that thing firsthand because they usually go the route of working a job or something like that. But like you're learning.
Yes.
You're learning like from the bottom, so to speak, from doing everything. But like you said, once you learn something else, he'll take you to the next thing and take you to the next thing, take you to the next thing. So that's awesome. That's awesome in and of itself. So let's try to kind of get right into it. So all right, so we're in this new year, and a couple of my topics have just been strictly just about the new year because what I find is like everybody has these goals, and by the time they get to February and definitely into March, that goal is already out, and they're off to something else, and things of that nature. So, like some of the things that you're doing with your team to generate
Yes.
business by the way of by using guarantees. So let's kind of get into that. What
Yes.
are some of the guarantees that you're using to attract business rather than chase business? in this market right here.
Yes. Okay, well, before I answer that question, I just wanted to let you know that Rafat Matwali is my business partner, and we meet at least once or twice a week to discuss our strategy and our goals, how we're going to implement them, and all that. And so, what we have done in the past year, year and a half, is sort of trimmed down, taking a look at different platforms of lead generation systems, and doing an accounting to see, is this fruitful? If it's not fruitful, are we getting, a return on investment for what we're spending? And that can be a costly and time-consuming thing. So what we have done is we've narrowed down, regarding the lead generation to start off, platforms that have been working well for us. And then, of course, the whole point of this is that you could have thousands and thousands of leads, but if you don't know how to convert those leads, what's the point of having the leads, right? So from real estate and professional perspective, we're constantly honing our skills and doing one-on-ones so that we become expert advisors. Of course, you know that we're part of the NAEA, and that has really helped us with regards to the training and continuing the professionalism and sharpening our some of the communications, the guarantees that we have. We've come up with our own list of guarantees because we want to be able to show value to the prospect. Prospects are smart. I mean, clients are smart. They can go on the internet and they have a lot of information at their fingertips, right? And I see it that they're always looking at your service. If they're going to work with you, they're asking these questions. Is your service simple or not? Is it invaluable? Is it aligned with what they're looking for? Is it aligned with what we're doing? The goal is for us is when the prospects are hot, of course, is to be able to pursue and not let go, because we find there's a certain window that you could lose that opportunity. So one of the goals that we have, or one of the guarantees that we have with the buyers, is that we have different guarantees in place. Why? Because we want to establish ourselves as being different than, I don't want to, knock anyone down, but the 70,000 realtors that are in our city, I think there's 80 now, or maybe we're 90. I don't know. What's going to get the prospect to want to work with you as opposed to, his cousin Vinny or his aunt that just got her real estate license, or niece and whatnot. So we have different, we have different guarantees. We offer incentives to the buyer, like we have a free warranty, a free mortgage protection guarantee. We have free home warranty guarantees. We have communication guarantees, and we put our money where our mouth is. Then we have a guarantee, for example, that if they're not happy with the purchase of the home within 24 months, we'll sell it for them, right? But we won't charge them commission because they bought the home from us originally. So we'll waive our portion of the commission with the agreement, of course, and that we're going to be able to help them with the purchase of their next home. So to say it bluntly, when I'm doing a presentation with a buyer or a seller, whether usually we like to meet in person, by the time I'm done sharing these guarantees, they're blown away. They're just like, wow. And I'll ask, has anyone ever offered you these guarantees? I said, never. No, we've never had anyone offer this. So it makes them feel comfortable. It makes them feel that they can trust you. And we abide by what we say with the guarantees. So yeah, it's really worked so well for us. Our production has doubled. We went to almost 90 transactions by implementing these strategies, as well as implementing the training with the NAEA. We have our own branded training now for anyone that we partner with agents to help them with their business. And basically, you want to deliver value. That's what's important, is how are we going to deliver value to the prospect? If that answers your question.
No, absolutely. I mean, absolutely. I mean, it's a trip because, according to NAR, 80% of agents sell less than,
I think you're frozen. Did I blow you away or something?
You didn't blow me away. No. You're good. You're good. No, what I was saying though, I was saying that, according to NAR, 80% of
80% of agents are selling. Okay. something wasn't working.
Yeah, yeah. Can you hear me now? Can you hear me? All right, are you there?
I can hear you now. Yeah.
Oh,
I
okay.
don't know
All
what's
right.
going
Sorry.
on, but
Yeah. Internet
are you
raining in
there?
Georgia.
I can hear you.
All right, stuff happens. But no, I was just saying 80% of agents sell between 0 and 5 homes a year. So like, if you're doing the same thing that the other 80% are doing, that's pretty much going to be your response. And money flows with being different. I mean, and using guarantees. I mean, it's basically what it is. It's a risk reversal, right? Like you're going to take the thing that person it would consider a risk, and you're going to reverse it and put it back on yourself.
That's right.
And
The
once
risk is
you
all
do
on
that,
us.
yeah, it's all on you at that time. So like, why wouldn't they work with you? I mean, it's a tool, right? I mean, that's pretty much how you all are using it, right?
Exactly. Yes. And by the time we're done, they're very comfortable, because there is no risk. And really, there's no risk to us either. We do our homework. We have a software that we're able to take a look at the absorption rates so that we're ready when we're meeting with our clients, even for a listing presentation. When we are preparing the listing presentation, or we're presenting it, we're coming up with different data. It's not just about the CMA. Every agent's going to come up with a comparable, but the reality is, as you know, comparables can be historical data. We don't really know why that house sold for that certain amount. There could be so many underlying factors how they got to that price. So what you want to do is, when you're approaching perhaps like a potential seller, is you have to look at absorption rates. For example, what's the asking ratio, right? Asking to sales ratio. Are they getting 90% asking to sales ratio within that area? Because across the street or the next block over, it's a totally different story. So once you have an idea of the absorption rates and considering the market, then you're able to price it within market value or slightly below market value. And then you have an opportunity for maybe, a multiple offer scenario. But when you're doing the listing presentation, we learned that there's 115 variables that affect the selling of your home. We don't go through all 115 variables, because they're going to say, "Get the heck out of here! You're boring me. Who are you?" We don't go through all the variables, but of course we touch on the most important points, and to be able to articulate it and reiterate it that is simple for them to understand. And you don't want to sit there for an hour talking about all these variables, right?
Yeah.
The most by your presentation with that presentation should be at least 10, 15 minutes. And then of course we talk about our guarantees for the seller as well.
So I mean, like, just kind of going back on like the absorption rate. Like,
Yes.
most people, they come in with a CMA, right? Most agents, they all bring in and they talk about CMA. So when
Right.
you're coming in with the talking about absorption rate, like, I mean, is that something that, like, immediately that the seller's like, what is that? What are you
Exactly.
talking about? Tell me
Exactly.
more.
It's our job to educate them,
Yeah.
right? It's my job to educate them and fill them in on what's going on. What's an absorption rate? What's the average sales to asking ratio? What's going on in your neighborhood? But we will have, one or two comparables, right? And then you can take a picture if you want. You can show them on your computer, and we ask them. So here's a house that's very similar to yours. Take a look at it and give me your thoughts. And they'll say you don't say anything. You wait for them to respond, and they'll say, "Yeah, it looks like it's got more upgrades than mine."
Yeah.
Right? And you kind of eliminate the selleritis, where they have their own concept of what they think their home is worth. But if you're presenting different scenarios and have them come to their own conclusion, they'll finally agree with you. Okay, yeah, I agree with you. You know what? Maybe because my house doesn't have the coffered ceiling or the granite countertops, that can affect, of course, the price of the market value of the home, right? So we give them an opportunity to kind of make a decision for themselves and take a look at what's in front of them.
Yeah. Yeah, but you're like I said, once again, you're coming different from everybody else. Like, if everybody else is saying the same thing, interview one agent, they talk about CMA, other agent, they talk about CMA. They're talking about, oh, I'm great, and what I'm able to do, and you're hitting them with absorption rate, and all the different variables. And I know this was gonna come, so I know you're talking about that price swing effect, right?
The price swing effect.
Like swing
Yes.
kicking in there. So like your language is different. Everything is different. So like you said, you're educating the
I'm a
client,
Martian.
and then the next thing you know, like you're coming to the top of the totem pole when it comes to agents, simply because you're becoming that expert. You are the expert, and you all together are actually determining, like you said, what the price of the home should be, as opposed to them choosing somebody that says their home is worth this amount when really it should be priced around here. Isn't that right?
Exactly. And sometimes what we do is we'll give them three different opportunities. Okay, so this is, the list now price, this is your price, and the market price. Which one do you think we should price it at? And then, of course, then you need to talk about and discuss, okay, so then there's some more numbers that you need and stats you need to take a look at. If you price it at such and such, if it's too low, you're going to get these stupid offers. If you price it too high, you might get some showings, but you're going to get no offers at all. But if you price it right, very close to the current market value, you're not only going to get showings, but many offers. So you give them a bit of a threshold, right, of or graph as to this is what what you can expect if we price it at this price point. Also, you need to come up with an agreement that if the house doesn't sell, for example, another guarantee, if it doesn't sell within 90 days, we won't charge you our end of the commission, right? We also let them know the type of marketing that we're going to, the type of marketing that we're going to implement to market their home. We're going to do this. We come up with a list. The list is so long: Google ads, Facebook ads, this, that. Then we come up with our list of our buyer agents. This is an example. We couldn't print all, the 3,000 agents that we are affiliated with, but here are some of the names. You can look them up yourself. They are actual realtors. And we talk about how we're going to strategically market their home, right? So they know the process step by step, right? So there's no surprises along the way. You say, hey, wait a minute, I thought you said this. So cover every angle, right? Cover every angle so that if something were to happen, you take your notes and make sure, by the way, we discussed this, because we've learned this, the hard way. If you're not noting some of the discussions or the points, they can come back and say, oh, you never mentioned that to me. Oh, actually, yes, we did it. These are the notes that we took, right? So that you protect yourself as well from any liability.
So let's kind of go back into that, because I know it's an agent out there that's like, wait a minute, if it doesn't sell in 90 days, you're gonna take your commission out. Like, no. What if you got an unrealistic seller? But I know you got stipulations on your guarantees
Of
with
course.
that, right? So if you're dealing with a seller and they want to price their home like this high, crazy amount, then they don't qualify for that guarantee, right?
Correct. Yes, and our goal is to take them down off the cloud 9 and bring them to maybe number 2. Try to feed some reality. So far, we've never really experienced someone that's been, really out of the loop with their pricing. Once we come up with all the statistical data and we do our presentation, they don't ask, they don't argue, they trust us, right? Plus, they take a look at, another incentive is taking a look at our website and our testimonials from previous clients. They're also intrigued by the fact that my business partner and I also offer pre-construction at a platinum level. So we're not just working with just, our clients, our database is not just buyers and sellers, but also investors. So, a buyer, we take a look at their whole portfolio and we cater their portfolio as to what they're looking for. It's not just about a transaction of selling the home. If you've got equity in your home, here are some options for you. You can do this, this, and that. You can, we can help you. We've got lenders that we work with that are going to help you to get approved, guaranteed lower rates than the bank. And why don't you invest some of your money in your funds into pre-construction? at a platinum level. Why does that make sense? Because if you're going for platinum, you're going to have access to assignment sales, meaning that before closing, you're going to receive the occupancy, but during occupancy, you have the right, you can either lease it, sell it, or assign it, right? So these are a lot of incentives that a lot of investors are not aware of, right? So we take a look at the client from a whole perspective. What are your goals? You just want to buy and sell and that's it? Or do you want to look at maybe some type of a retirement plan and cater to some investment goals? And that's what makes us a little unique compared to just, being transactional agents.
No, I love that. I mean, you're pretty much, on all levels, where whether you're working with an investor, whether you're working with a end buyer, whether you're working with a seller, I mean, you got plans for each one of those people in order for them to be successful. And not only just plans, but educating them on the best use for them to actually hit their goals.
Exactly. And having said that, I mean, I'm sure people are probably going to disagree with me, but I was one of those people who say, "Oh, you got to pay off your mortgage, pay off your mortgage, pay off your mortgage." But the reality is, as you're hanging on, if you own a home, you've got so much equity in your home. If you have 800,000 or $1 million of equity in your home, why would you want to pay off your mortgage? Just leverage the equity that you have in that home. Start buying investment properties. Have like a 5 to 10 year plan. And by the time you earn your return on investment, not only will you sell your home, your home will be paid off. You won't have a mortgage, right? So there's so many different factors, and I think they really respect us, that they see that we're really there to help them with their investment goals as well. And sometimes they're not in a position to, and that's okay. I mean, we don't turn them away, but we just let them know, here's what you get if we're working together. These are the options that are available for you, right? So
Now, how are you, like? I mean, because I know you got your team rocking and rolling, and you all are, like you said, you increased the number of transactions just simply by doing the risk reversal guarantees, but more importantly, your expertise with helping people. So what are some of the things like that you're doing to help the agent that you, one, partner with, either one on your team or
mhm.
somebody that's outside of your team that wants to be their own individual, but kind of partner with you within your group in the organization? Like,
Yes, I'm glad you asked that. Yes, I'm glad you asked that. So, as I mentioned before in the beginning, we have our own template, our own branding of income streams. So, whenever we partner with a realtor, we take a look. Of course, the most important thing is the clarity report. That's the first thing. Are you clear on your goals? Because if you're not clear on the why, you're not going to get to the how, right? So the clarity report is going to establish, every agent or every partner that we have has their own goals, specific goals. But our main objective is to tap them into the training, right? Of the NAEA and the Honey Badger training, so that they have this level of certification. Excuse me. They train themselves and they have this level of certification, and helping to build their confidence level. So when they sit down with us, we take a look at, what type of CRM are you using right now? Is it successful? What's been frustrating you? How can we help you? What are your goals? Are you looking to work with, sellers? Are you looking to work with more buyers? Are you looking to expand your portfolio by offering pre-construction? Because that's one of the incentives, is if you're going to partner with us, we're going to give you access to our builders, right? And so they start getting involved in pre-construction. We have one business partner that partnered with us a year and a half ago, and because of our liaison with our platinum builders, he was able to sell 20 condo units. I won't mention his name, where he didn't have that opportunity before, right? So it's all about, I believe that if you're going to be a leader, you have a huge responsibility, not only to your business partners, but also to yourself, that you don't become complacent, right? And I really have this very strong belief, is that you need to figure out what's driving the individual, right? What's driving the individual? If you can't give of yourself and what's making you successful, and you're not going to help others, then I don't believe you should be involved in this business. So when we take a look at partnering, It's like, how can we help you to get to a higher level? What can we do? We'll go through the scrapes and bruises together, but we'll show you what we've done, if this makes sense to you, and then we're going to help you to implement that. But I'm not going to babysit.
Nobody wants to babysit. I mean,
No,
you gotta have the drive. I mean, ultimately, that's why I always say I'm looking for people that that want a better way of doing real estate. The people that
exactly.
are in a situation, maybe they tired of bumping their head against the wall, and they just need systems and processes of somebody to kind of like I would grab your hand and I would like show you the way, but you got to want it for yourself, right?
Exactly. And that's the key, right? You're not in this business to babysit. And anyone that I partner with or my business partner are taking a look at partnerships, we have to be on the same level, the same mindset, entrepreneurial mindset. They're hungry for success. They're teachable, right? Teachable. That's the main thing is like, I don't believe that anyone ever arrives. I mean, Jay Kinder and Michael Reese, they're at the top, right? But they're so humble that I believe if somebody comes up to them and says, "Hey, listen, I've got an idea for this," they're going to take a look at it and not say, "Well, we already know. We don't need to take a look at that." They're very humble, and that's how you're going to keep yourself open to being humble and teachable. The sky is the limit, right? But if you're going to have an attitude where you're going to be negative and you're going to complain and you're not even going to implement or take the expertise course, then that's something that we might have to reconsider,
Yeah.
right?
I
Yeah,
always say like when I talk to somebody, I want to definitely impart into them, give them information, but whatever information that I give them, if they're doing it, they're usually going to come back with me with some more questions about what they're doing. But
right.
if I give them information and then they come back and they're at the same place, it's normally because they're not doing the information that I told them to do. And
Exactly.
now I just, instead of trying to give them more information, I'm just going to repeat the first thing that I told you. Like, you got to do the first thing first to the fullest before you can go to that next level. So I can't tell you how many times I've talked to, somebody's imparted to me and I'll go do it and in doing stuff comes up, right? Like, well, you run into another roadblock, but really in life, I'm the type of person I think you're going to be moving from roadblock to roadblock and overcoming those roadblocks if you're going forward. If you're not going forward, you're just standing in front of the wall. Right?
You got it. Like if you're not facing challenges, then then you need to think twice about what you're doing because every time you're gonna move to a different level, there's gonna be a challenge, right? No matter, I believe that with any type of business and in life principles, right? It happens in life, right? Anytime you have a goal, there's going to be some, whether it's fear, whether it's anxiety, negativity, you don't know what to do, money issues, there's always going to be obstacles. But the way you tackle that obstacle and get through to the other side, that's what's the important thing. And if you can align yourself with the right people that have the right mindset and a positive attitude, then it's going to be a lot easier than trying to be a lone ranger on your own, right?
Yep. Love it.
Yeah.
Love it. Rena, man, it's been super awesome. I mean, I know people got a lot out of this interview with you, and I thank you so much for just kind of opening up and sharing, portion of your playbook, and but more importantly, your personality. Once again, we do these every Thursday at 11 o'clock, where we're interviewing the agent that's killing it within their industry, and to provide tremendous value for the agent that's looking to grow, looking to put the work in for themselves, in order to have a better life. If you want to know more about, anything about partnering with Rena, I mean, you can definitely reach out to her about partnering with me. You can reach out to me as well. Anything real estate related. At the end of the day, we're here to help. Somebody had to help us. That's the reason why we're where we are right now. So,
Exactly.
any parting words before we get out of here, Rena?
Keep it real. Don't get too puffed up and love on others.
That's it. I love it. All right. To the next time. See you all later.
Okay, James.